What's up everyone, it's me, Dragonly here, back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be starting off a new series on ARC called ARC 101. Now, the purpose of this series is going to be teaching you guys basically things that might be a little bit difficult to understand for the newer players or even some of the advanced players of ARC. And I'm experienced in some of these things, so I will be sharing my knowledge with you. Before we get into the video any further, I would like to discuss my schedule. So I've gotten a few DMs on Discord saying that I should upload more and that I don't upload enough. And look, school is very fast-paced since COVID, and it's very difficult to be doing that, do art, and do videos at the same time. Now, I'm going to tell you guys I will upload at least once weekly, and it'll most likely be on the weekends, so expect one video every weekend, whether it be art, whether it be a speed paint, whether it be an actual video. It just depends on how much time I have to upload. But this week is going to be rather slow for me, so I do have some time to upload a video like this. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So as you can see, guys, I'm on Griffin right now, and if you could tell by the title of the video is called Griffins ARC 101. So basically, I'm going to be teaching you everything that there is about Griffins, because Griffins are a very complex, needy, annoying creature to tame, and it can be very difficult to figure out things that are required to tame a Griffin and stuff. So yeah, let's just get into that. So as you can see, I have about 30% of my Griffin collection here. The rest of them are chronicled, but this is roughly like 30% of my Griffin collection. Whether they're mutated, whether they're just died, or anything, there's a mixture of all of them here. So yeah, I just wanted to show off my Griffin collection here because this is about 3 or 4 months of... No, this is longer. This is like 5 months or so of Griffin breeding. And this is just kind of like the best part of my collection of Griffins. The rest are chronicled, but yeah. So I feel like I should share my knowledge on Griffins with you guys. So yeah, let's get into the basics of Griffins. So, the first thing that you need to know about Griffins is the fact that they cost a lot of time to tame. A Griffin on a good day with the right stuff, like a 15x and Griffin kibble, can take a half an hour to an hour, and that's pretty long. Considering it has the kibble that it needs and all that, that's really long. Torpor drains relatively fast. They're relatively difficult to knock, especially if you don't have a cage. But if you have another Griffin, then they're good. But, you know, they can be relatively difficult to tame. So yeah, let's just get into that a bit. What you will need, a Griffin's preferred kibble is either Allosaurus kibble or Griffin kibble, which I know is really messed up. Because, you know, Griffin kibble is basically its own egg, which is kind of messed up. But, you know, it tames at roughly, in Libop, I know it tames at 40% per Griffin kibble with a 15x bomb. So yeah, I don't really know. I think we have boosted tame rates or something, but yeah, so they're not too difficult to tame. They just take a while to like load, if you will. So yeah, that's basically on Griffin taming. Now, let's get into Griffin breeding. Griffin breeding is extremely complicated. Well, it's not like really complicated, but it's one of the more complicated things to do in ARC when it comes to breeding. So, and mutations as well. So not only do Griffins have an insane cooldown for eggs, like I think it's like 12 hours or something for breeding, you also, in order to breed Griffins, the 2 Griffins have to have the same surname. So I'll pull up on the screen all of the possible surnames for Griffins right here. Yeah. So Griffins, you have to have, in order to breed them, a male and a female Griffin with the same surname. Now, if you don't know what a surname is, let me get into that a bit. So as you can see, this is Faralot, and he is male. Let's go over to a better example. So this is Balthalot. Balthalot is female. And this is Lanmalot. Lanmalot is male. As you can see, they both have lot at the bottom of their names. And a lot is the surname. So as long as they have matching surnames, they can be bred. So that is one of the very, very complicated things with Griffins. A few things to know before you can even get to the breeding stage is these things. The first thing you need to know is that you can only tame a Griffin under 3 circumstances. The first circumstance being that you're at the end of your username, you have the same surname as a Griffin. So for example, if I were to be Dragonly Lot, I could tame a Griffin with the Lot surname at level 40. And it will respect me, but only the Griffins with the Lot surname. If you do not have a matching username, then you will have to get to level 85 to tame Griffins from level 100 to like 100 to like 300 or 250 or something. And that is definitely a necessity, because if you were lower, the Griffin will not respect you. And also, the third circumstance is gold crowns. Gold crowns will basically make you level 100 to the Griffin. If you're level 90 to 100, every single level of Griffin will respect you, every surname, everything. And same for the gold crown. But gold crown is definitely, you need primal pass for that. And you need amber as well, so you need to pay. So it's better to just grind. But yeah, that is definitely something else. And I've also noticed that Eerie Griffins, you need to be at like level 90 to 100 for them to respect you, because my tribe mate Missy tamed a Eerie Griffin, and it didn't respect him because he was level 85. So you have to be a higher level for Eerie Griffins to respect you, I'm pretty sure. I'm new to Eerie Griffins, but yeah. And that's kind of like annoying, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Back to breeding. Griffin breeding is very complex. Once you have the egg, it takes a really, really long time to breed them as well. It takes like 5 to 10 minutes for one Griffin egg to be born. And they do have to have the same surname, male and female, same surname. And not only that, they take 7 hours to hatch. And when the Griffin egg hatches, they will say insecure, will not accept food. And when the Griffin says this, what you have to do is you have to put a female with the same surname next to it. It doesn't have to be the exact mother, and this took me a while to figure out, but it doesn't have to be the exact mother of the Griffin, so it doesn't have to be the Griffin that birthed the egg that it came out of. It could literally be like, for example, if Balthalot here, let's say Balthalot birthed an egg, and Balthalot was not available. I could put, let's say, Pevalot next to it, and it would have the same effect. As long as a female with the same surname as the baby Griffin is nearby to the baby Griffin, it will be able to eat and accept food. So keep that in mind, because it will starve if there is no mother next to it. It has to stay like this until the Griffin reaches juvenile state. When the Griffin reaches juvenile state, then you can remove the mother and it can eat on its own. Another very, very, very important thing to note about baby Griffins, and just any Griffin in general, is you cannot unclaim it when it is 100% grown. So if you were to unclaim a Griffin, if you were to unclaim a Griffin, it would become wild, and you do not want that to happen. So what I recommend doing is, if you're planning on giving other people Griffins or selling Griffins in your own server, what you have to do, and is absolutely necessary, is you have to wait until it is a baby. For example, I just unclaimed, it's unclaimed. I can claim it back. If I were to do an adult, it would definitely go wild, and believe me, I know from experience. So what I recommend doing is waiting until you can breed them. And please note, a lot of people get this confused. You can unclaim a Griffin at any stage during the maturation. It could be at 99.9% matured, and you could unclaim the Griffin. A lot of people think that you can only do it when it's a baby, and as soon as it reaches juvenile, you cannot unclaim it. Although it might be the opposite is that. It has to be juvenile and up, because if you unclaim it and give it to another person that does not have a lot surname Griffin, for an example, if I were to give this one and they don't have a lot surname and the Griffin was baby and not juvenile, you would not be able, it would die, for sure. It would definitely die. And Griffins take roughly one or more weeks to raise. It really just depends on the maturation rates in your server. But in this server, it takes 1 week, maybe even a little bit over a week to raise a Griffin. So do keep that in mind when breeding the Griffin. But yeah, Griffins are definitely really, really complex, really, really needy, and they're a pain to breed. And if you get a mutation, you can be very proud of yourself because it takes a long time. And like every single other creature in the game, you cannot get mutations off of Griffins that have not been bred. So for example, if I were to breed 2 Griffins that I tamed, and when you go into its inventory, it doesn't say raised by. If it doesn't say that, and you just tamed it without breeding it, and you breed 2 Griffins or 1 that are not both bred and raised, you will not get a mutation. It's a 0% rate of getting one. So you have to have 2 bred Griffins to even start getting mutations. So it's very, 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 very difficult to get these Griffins and raise them and everything. So if you're going to sell them, make sure that you sell them for a price that is reasonable and make it relatively high. Like in this server, I sell males for 100,000 prairie bucks, and I sell females for 165,000 prairie bucks. The reason for this is because you cannot neuter Griffins. So if someone were to order a breed pair, they would have to pay 265,000 for a male Griffin. I mean, for a breed pair of Griffins. So yeah, make sure that it's lengthy because you cannot neuter them. So if you were to sell them, people could breed and sell them, because if you neuter it, it will unclaim. Because observe, neuter, accept, unclaimed. And if you do this to an adult, the same thing that happens when you unclaim it, it will go wild. So you absolutely cannot neuter them. And I really, really, really think that's a shame. However, ARC did put this little safety net here, because if you accidentally neuter a tame, like a Griffin, that is extremely difficult to tame and breed, it's a real shame. It's a real shame. So I think that the safety net is good and bad at the same time. So yeah, that's basically the 101 of Griffins. And I think that if you were to get into Griffin breeding and just Griffins in general, this is a video that is very, very useful for you. So make sure that if you got it all the way to the end, to leave a comment in the description saying black feather. And I would really, really appreciate it, because I really like to see who is watching all the way to the end of my videos. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Of course, if you did enjoy, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe, like always. Humor the chili pepper and do so. It would mean a lot, and I really, really appreciate the support that I'm getting on my channel. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video again, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.